Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So in today's video, I'll be sharing with you guys what I think are the 5 worst Louis Vuitton SLGs or small leather goods. I will do a follow-up video of the 5 best Louis Vuitton SLGs, so stay tuned for that. If you haven't subscribed yet, please consider doing so and ringing that notification bell so that you're notified when I upload that video and future videos. I do a lot of luxury reviews and unboxings on my channel, and I also share my experiences too. So if you are just starting out your luxury journey, I hope that my videos help you guys, and that's just my aim of my channel. So please consider subscribing. I'd love to have you a part of my YouTube family. So before we get started, I just wanted to share with you guys this necklace that I'm wearing. It's so beautiful. I purchased this myself from Ana Luisa. This is not sponsored. I have worked with Ana Luisa before and I love all their jewelry pieces, but I just saw this pop up online and I just had to grab it. I'll take it off to show you guys because I think if you follow me, you'll appreciate this too. So it's a long gold chain necklace, and this is 14 karat gold plating, and the little pendant here, hopefully you can see in the light, but it's a little vintage style pendant, and it's got a mother of pearl stone in the center with a rose embossed there. So it's kind of raised, so you can feel the rose on the mother of pearl, and it's just stunning. And the chain that it's on is just absolutely delicate and just so dainty and so my style. It looks like I have like that Yusuf necklace that's kind of like the Cuban kind of chain looking necklace, but this is like a lot daintier. So it looks like that. The links are very similar, but it's a lot smaller. I believe this is called the Hannah necklace, and it's in collaboration with the YouTuber. So this is absolutely stunning. I think they used to have this and then they just brought it back in stock. I got an email saying that this is back in stock or they've brought it back, and I just fell in love with this. So I just had to pick it up. I also picked up this little beaded bracelet here. So this is very like Tiffany & Co vibes. Like it's got the beaded bracelet that Tiffany & Co do as well. So again, this is not sponsored, but I just wanted to mention it because I think you guys would appreciate this too. So now let's get back into this video where I'll share with you guys what I think are the worst Louis Vuitton SLGs. And what I mean by worst is that it's not worth the money. Like there's probably other brands out there that do it better, or that you can save your money and buy like a contemporary brand or a non-branded item of it. So that's what I mean by worst. And I just want to preface this by saying that this is just my opinion. So please don't get offended if you own any of these SLGs. This is just my opinion and what I think is not worth the money. So the very first worst Louis Vuitton SLG on my list pains me to say, because this was actually the very first video that I ever uploaded on my YouTube channel. So if you've been following me since then, you'll know what this item is. But it's the Louis Vuitton card holder. This is in the monogram canvas, the reverse monogram canvas. So it's got the reverse monogram on this side and the normal monogram on this side. And I really love this. Like I love the look of it, the aesthetics. I love how it's got a touch of reverse monogram there, and then on the other side it's the opposite. The reason why it's on my worst list, or that I think it's not worth the money, is because it's so compact. Like it's too compact to the point where it's not even usable. Like I don't know, it's just so thin. Like you can see there, it's so thin. And I always say this when I mention this card holder, it just turns 2D when you turn it on the side. Like it just disappears because it's so thin. And that could be a pro for some of you guys. Like you only carry like 1 or 2 cards with you, or 3 cards. This fits 3 cards at max, I would say. I have tried to fit more, but as you can see, it kind of like stretches a little bit. And because it's so thin anyway, it makes it really difficult to get like another card out. So if you double it up, it makes it really hard to get like the card behind out. And that's why I feel like it's not worth it. It's around, I think it's $305 now, Australian dollars. So I just feel like there's a lot more on the market, like the luxury market, where you can find a card holder that's a lot more functional. It's got more pockets, like the YSL card holders. I think they're a bit more, but they're all leather, whereas this is canvas and it's got leather lining inside. So I feel like this is not worth the money, and I honestly don't really reach for it that often anymore because I do carry a lot of cards with me and some cash as well. And just forget about carrying cash with you because it makes it so difficult to like even put anything in this pocket when you have the 2 sides filled with cards. It just makes it super tight, and it may loosen over time, but again, it won't loosen to the point where I can fit more cards in my other card holders that I have. So I do have the Chanel caviar leather card holder, and that fits a lot of cards. And because it's leather, it does stretch quite easily, and I don't overstuff it, but I do put enough cards that I need on a daily basis. And for me, just 3 cards just isn't enough for me. So I haven't been able to let it go yet because I just love how pretty it is, and I don't know if I will let it go. I just like looking at it, and it's like a nice little collector piece because it's got the reverse monogram canvas, and I don't own anything in the reverse monogram canvas, so it's still in my collection for now. But unfortunately this has to be one of the worst Louis Vuitton SLGs out there. So the second worst Louis Vuitton SLG may be controversial. I know a lot of these might be controversial, like the card holder for example, but this one here is a lot of people's favorites, and I know a lot of people convert it into handbags and use it in different ways. But it is the Louis Vuitton Cosmetic Case. So either in the PM or the GM size, just any of the cosmetic cases. It's just so expensive for a cosmetic case, because if you imagine all the makeup that you put in, makeup brushes, makeup products, they could leak or they just get dirty over time, and just rubbing against something that expensive just like drives me crazy a little bit. It initially was on my wish list like a couple of years ago, but thinking back now, I'm glad I didn't purchase it because it would be such a waste of money. It's I think over $700 just for the PM size, which is about that big. And you'll find that a lot of brands out there do gift with purchases. And this is just an example. So this is from Christian Dior, and this is from the makeup line. So if I purchased over $150 worth of makeup, I got this for free. And I think this is so cute, like so much cuter than maybe not as cute as the Louis Vuitton one, but this is still really cute for a cosmetic case, and it was free. Like I got all the products that I wanted, and this came as a bonus. It also came with like little samples inside too. So I feel like there's so many alternatives out there where you don't even need to pay for a cosmetic case, or even if you do, you can find cute ones from contemporary brands or even like non-luxury brands like Target or Kmart. So really cute ones, and you can just dispose of them after like they get really ratty and really gross, because makeup can leak or it can just get really dirty. Like if you're touching it constantly, it just gets really dirty over time. So you do kind of want to be rotating or changing up your cosmetic case every once in a while, because you don't want like the leftover makeup residue growing bacteria in it. And I know that the cosmetic case is lined like with like a waterproof lining where you can just wipe off the makeup and clean it easily, but it still doesn't justify like the almost $800 price tag of it. So that's why it's on my worst list. I was also going to mention the toiletry pouch, but I know that they've been discontinued now, which that doesn't really affect me in any way, because I feel like it's the same thing. You're putting your toiletries inside, it just gets dirty, and it just doesn't make sense to be spending that much money on something that you throw like your makeup or your toiletries inside and risk it getting beaten up and dirty. So yeah, that's why the cosmetic pouch made it to my worst Louis Vuitton SLG list. So the third item on my worst list is very similar to the cosmetic case in that it's very expensive for what it is and for what you use it for. So it's the Louis Vuitton Nice range, or like the vanity range, like the vanity bags. I think it's called like the Nice BB. They have a mini and even like a nano. But yeah, just in general, like the Nice range. And it's just the same thing like with the cosmetic case. But I think that with the cosmetic case, I guess you'd use it more. You could use it on a daily basis because it is quite small. Whereas with the vanity cases, it's more for travel, or you leave it on your vanity. And that is such a lot of money for something to be just sitting on your vanity table. I think it's over 1,300 Australian dollars for the small one. And I think if you want like the actual BB size, which is like the larger one, I think that's over $1,600. So that is such a lot of money. You could definitely buy a handbag with it. I know a lot of people convert it into handbags, but I don't see it as a handbag. Even if you put like a really beautiful chain or a strap on it, I still see just like a vanity case. And if you are to travel with it, it just gets squished in your luggage. And for that price tag, you don't want to be squishing your Louis Vuitton piece in your luggage. And also it's got a lot of vachetta leather on it. So imagine all the like the cosmetics, the skincare that you put inside. What if they leak, or if they get out onto the vachetta leather, it just stains it. So I feel like that's not a good way to spend your money. You would rather save that money and spend it towards actual handbag that you can use and have it last for a really long time. I've seen a lot of the vanity cases and the vachetta leather's stained completely, or it just doesn't look as good as it once was as brand new. So that's why it's on this worst list. So the fourth item on my worst Louis Vuitton SLG list is something I feel like a lot of you guys may be able to relate to. I know some of you might not, but I feel like the majority of you guys will. And it's the Louis Vuitton phone cases. So they are so expensive for just a phone case. I think they range from about 600 Australian dollars and upwards. So 600 just for like a very basic phone case that doesn't really protect your phone like it will, but I feel like if you dropped your phone, it would not protect it in that way. And for $600, that is such a lot of money. And not to mention our phones get outdated so quickly. Like you have to upgrade every 1 or 2 years, probably like 3 years at max. So for something to be ever changing like that, like technology just keeps changing and they keep changing the design of phones, it's just such a lot of money to spend on an item that you won't be using in like 2 years time. So I think of luxury as something that you keep in your collection for a really long time, if not forever. And for something to be constantly rotating every 2 to 3 years, that's just such a lot of money. And even like the Apple phone cases, I even think that they're really expensive and they're only like 50 or 60 Australian dollars. So yeah, for something to be $600, that's like half of an iPhone. So you could definitely save more and purchase a brand new phone with that money. And it is really cute, but then again, in the long term, it's not worth it. So definitely save your money there and definitely do not purchase the phone accessories from fashion houses. So the fifth and final item on my Louis Vuitton worst SLG list are keychains. So keychains, I know, again, are very controversial. Some people think that it's really worth it and that they love dressing up their purses with keychains and just giving it their own style. But the Louis Vuitton keychains are so expensive. I know a lot of other brands do keychains and they're probably just as much too. But with Louis Vuitton ones, they are just so expensive. I think the cheapest one that you can get is around like $400, maybe probably $500. And again, that's such a lot of money. You could definitely save that towards a handbag. And I guess if there is a design that you really love, that's okay. Maybe just to have one in your collection, but to have multiple, it's definitely not worth it to add and spend your hard-earned money on. So I even saw on the Louis Vuitton website that some keychains were like over $1,500. I think I saw one that was like $1,800 and that just blew my mind. I was just like, how could someone spend that much just on a keychain? And that's like, you could buy a handbag or 2 handbags for that price. So yeah, don't get sucked into the Louis Vuitton keychains. I was once at that stage a couple of years ago, probably a few years ago when I started my journey. And I think when I purchased my Speedy 30, I wanted to add like a really cute Louis Vuitton keychain to it. But I think even back then it was like $400, $500. And I was tossing and turning. I was actually really considering it. But in hindsight now, I'm really glad I didn't bite that bullet. I held off and just thought about it more. And over time, I kind of got over it. And now I'm so glad I used that $500 towards something else in my collection that I can keep forever and ever and that I love and use. Whereas with keychains, you don't really use them that much. They just hang on something. You could use like other things to decorate your handbags. And there's so many other companies out there where you can get really cute little keychains and like little details or even like bandeaus that you could decorate your handbags with. So yeah, those are what I think are the 5 worst Louis Vuitton SLGs. Let me know in the comment section below if you guys agree with my 5 or if you have a different 5. Let me know in the comment section below. I'd love to hear what you guys think. But yeah, that's all for today's video. I really hope you guys enjoyed it. As I mentioned, I will do a follow-up video on what I think are the 5 best Louis Vuitton SLGs. So stay tuned for that. But until then, I'll see you in my next video. Bye!